Good evening. This is Rahul Magan here as a Group Chief Executive Officer, Treasury Consulting, and also a venture capitalist. As we speak, Treasury Consulting Group is a multinational headquarter group based out India, Singapore, and Hong Kong. More importantly, we do have offices in 3 parts of the globe, and apart from that, we own our own proprietary hedge fund. Now, by proprietary, it means that we invest our own capital. We do not take somebody's capital to invest. So even if he gives us 1 million, 2 million, whatever, our answer is straight away no. Our hedge fund covers equities, commodities, currencies, and many more asset classes, but it is a private hedge fund, which means that no third party in the whole universe can enter into this fund, right? So only Treasury Consulting knows about how we are doing in this fund, no outsiders. Apart from that, we are having our learnings academy, which is Sheetal Academy. We do have our free learning platforms on Telegram, wherein we sharing market information, charts, updates, and everything free of cost, which is in public. And we do have our OTT platform, which is known as TRFX Academy. So in case you wish to have any information, you can definitely WhatsApp on my personal number, which is +91 9899 242 978. Alternatively, you can WhatsApp on our back office, which is +91 9818 485 155. Today, I would like to cover a very important topic, and that is nothing but the US debt ceiling. Rather, I call this stupidity ceiling, to be honest and precise. Now, before I take US debt ceiling, I would like to go ahead with an example. So once again, I am quoting my favorite person, Ram Lal Chole Bhature. If by coincidence this company turns out to be real, then it's a mere coincidence, because I have chosen this word after doing a lot of research on Google that there is no such company exist, but at least listed company exists. But still, for a while, if it exists, it's just a pure coincidence, nothing intentional. So let's take a simple example of my favorite company, Ramlal Chole Bhature. Ramlal Chole Bhature took 5,000 crores loan from SBI. Now, why I'm choosing SBI, State Bank of India, is just to relate this, Now, Ramlal Chole Bhature invest this 5,000 crore in the business, supposed to invest, but actually they invested here and there. No, by here and there, I doesn't mean the siphoning of the money. By here and there, I'm precise, which is they lost the focus. So basically, when they took the funding from SBI, they were focused that they will increase their FMCG business. But eventually they lost their focus, and they were here, they are just like Paytm, Ola, Uber, Swiggy, Zomato. Like Paytm started with a digital transformation company. And today, except FMCG, they are into every business. And all business are in losses. That is a more important thing. Anyways, what happened? Ramlal Chole Bhature took the funding for 5 years. And they're supposed to pay, say, 8% interest on this 5,000 crore funding, which means 400 crore worth of interest to be payable every year. Okay. Somehow they paid this money. Somehow. And at the end of 5th year, SBI officials came and said, give us our 5,000 crore back. And Ramlal Chole Bhature was like, oh my God, what the hell? Where I would get this 5,000 crores? So Ramlal Chole Bhature decided to apply a fresh loan to Punjab National Bank. And fortunately, they got the loan. They took the loan from Punjab National Bank and they give to SBI. Problem solved temporarily. After a few years, Punjab National Bank came and said, give us our money back. Ramlal Chole Bhature contacted ICICI Bank. Again, they got the funding. They took the funding from ICICI, give to Punjab National Bank. This sequence continue. And eventually, Ramlal Chole Bhature is at situation that there is no bank left from where they can take the money. The interest cost they're paying is exorbitantly. Guys, did you notice that Bharti Airtel in the last 4 years paid around 49,000 crores worth of interest cost? 49,000 crores worth of interest cost. This is what Bharti Airtel paid. I don't think 49,000 crore is a small amount. If I compute this in dollar terms, that is about 6.6 billion US dollars. And we all understand that Bharti Airtel is in losses. But just to take a step before the video, in Indian market, no one checked the interest rate they are paying. SpiceJet, Indigo, Bharti Airtel, PVR, and the list is very long, guys. All these companies are paying heavily interest. Just have a look. Let's move to the story. Finally, Ramlal Chole Bhature promoter, whose name is Ramlal, two promoters, Ramlal and Shamlal, they both raised the hands like Vijay Mallya and said, do whatever you can. I don't have money, because they're done with SBI, they're done with PNB, they're done with ICICI, they're done with Axis, they're done with all banks. Now Ramlal Chole Bhature don't have the money to pay. They paid a huge interest over the period of the time. Technically net worth is zero, and eventually they defaulted. Now what is the moral of the story? The moral of the story is that the companies, the individuals, the corporates, the big hedge funds, and governments, those who rely extensively on the debt, they are bound to fail. No one can stop them. No one can stop them. In 2017, and this data is by Bloomberg, plus minus $200 billion, because the chart is not very precise. I repeat, plus minus $200 to $300 billion chart is not exactly precise. In 2017, US government was having a sovereign debt of 20 trillion US dollar. 20 trillion. While in 2018, it grew to 21.5 trillion. In 2019, it was 23 trillion. In 2020, it is 27 trillion. In 2021, it is 28.5 trillion. Now, which means that from 2017 till 2021, which means 4 years, US accumulate the debt to the tune of 8.5 trillion. I repeat, as per the statistics provided by Bloomberg, plus minus 200-300 billion here there, in 2017 they were having the sovereign debt of 20 trillion. In 2021 this is 28.5 trillion, which means the total difference is 8.5 trillion divided by 4, which means in the last 4 years you accumulated 8.5 trillion worth of debt. On an annual basis, it is around $2 trillion. 1 trillion is 1,000 billion, which means, precisely speaking, on a yearly note, around 2,100 billion of sovereign debt US is accumulating. I hope you saw the movie Big Shots. It's a very good movie. I think you can see on Amazon or Netflix, either of that. This movie is having a scene when two gentlemen went to one credit rating agency. I'm not naming that credit rating agency, you check yourself in the movie. And this credit rating agency lady in the office bluntly said to the both gentlemen that if I don't give what the client is asking, somebody else give. It means if I don't give the credit rating the client is asking for, somebody else give and I lose the business. This is what used to happen in 2008. Now is 2021. I hope you're getting what I mean to say. United States Treasury Secretary Janet Yellen made it clear in a live testimony on Thursday that if US do not increase the debt limit, US government would default. And the height of stupidity is she said in a live testimony that US never defaulted on the bills. What the hell she's talking about? You and your country are running on a debt. You are taking additional debt to pay the previous debt. So it's a common sense you will not default. Why are you on the verge of default? Because now the debt ceiling is coming to an end. And if it is not suspended before 18th October, as per Janet Yellen, the country will default. So what is the moral of the story? We treat United States as a reserve currency of the globe. The stupid and the paid and the sold media track Federal Reserve and gold and silver move because of Federal Reserve. But we forget to learn that United States is at the brink of default. The country who is in the current account losses, the country where household debt is exorbitantly high. And by the way, the figures which I gave you is the sovereign debt. Implied liabilities and contingent liabilities, no one knows. I remember in one of the World Economic Forums several years back, the figure was $400 trillion. Now, I don't know what the figure it is as we speak. United States is a bankrupt country. It is a country with huge debt in the books. It is a country with exorbitant household debt in the book. It's a country where except few companies like Apple, Amazon, Microsoft, and Facebook and Google, you know the share price of most of the companies. It's a market where loss-making company raise money from the investors. Example, Uber, Airbnb, and hell lot of companies. It's a market where even loss-making company can do the direct listing. And unfortunately, and because of the money, the credit rating agencies have not downgraded the US rating. The Treasury Secretary in a live meeting saying that if by 18th October the funding is not revised, then US will default. It clearly means that you do not have your own resources. And when you do not have your own resources, it means you cannot have AAA credit rating. Your credit rating deserved to be BBB minus. Now here I support India. India credit rating is BBB minus. US is AAA. Now what is the difference between India and US? Can we say US is the reserve currency of the globe? Chinese yuan is rising, accelerating. And you know, Chinese central bank pumped $17 billion, guys, $17 billion to protect Evergrande default. $17 billion. Do Federal Reserve in a position even to pump $17 billion only to protect one company? Biden is raising the taxes, corporate tax, wealth tax, your inheritance tax, your dividend distribution tax, capital gain tax, and all to accumulate the money. As a country, you don't have the money. You are increasing the taxes to raise the money. Your debt is already $28.5 trillion. In the last 4 years, you accumulated 8.5 trillion. Where the hell is 8.5 trillion? The Biden is saying the country need to upgrade the infrastructure. In the 4 years, you raised $8.5 trillion. Where the hell is this money? Is this all money spent on the president trips? I'm telling you guys, the investors are being fooled by these credit rating agencies as usual. It is an utmost duty of the credit rating agencies to cut the US rating immediately. But they will not do that. They will wait till 18th October. And if US will not pay, then also they cut. And that too only by one notch. It's a yet another evidence that these credit rating agencies are paid or they are compromised. Else, if they are honest, they would have cut the rating right away. Right away, there would be a flash on the computer, Standard & Poor downgrade US rating. You don't have money. You are raising the debt ceiling because you want more debt which you can pay the existing debt. Super. This is reserve currency of the globe. And I know that no one will make such kind of videos. And regarding Powell and Janet Yellen, Powell is sold. The US Senator, the lady Warren, she made a live statement in a testimony that Powell is a dangerous man and I will not support the reappointment of Powell. And I think she's extremely right because Powell is compromised. You know, even I have the data, 2,100 people died in a day. Almost every day, 2,100 people, around 2,000 people are dying. Thousands of kids are infected. Several hundred startups closed. Even Wells Fargo or any other bank analyst said that in the next 5 years, around 100,000, you heard me right, 100,000 jobs would cut only in the banking sector. Even after that, we are bullish on the US. And we are giving him AAA rating. What a stupidity is that? It is better that these credit rating agencies will put a board outside their office and say pay and get ratings. US debt ceiling, even if it is approved for a while, this would have several negative consequences for the globe. Remember guys, I just want to tell you one thing very clearly. Maybe if it is increased after 4 years, 5 years, 6 years, 10 years, a day would come and this day United States would have the debt which no one even can think of. And just like the hypothetical example which I have taken, Ram Lal Chole Bhature, United States will raise both the hands like Ram Lal Chole Bhature and say, go to hell. I'm not paying back anything. Remember guys, from $5 trillion 10-15 years ago, they have reached to $28.5 trillion. Probably by next decade, they will reach to $50 trillion. It's a common sense that if in 4 years you increased by $8.5 trillion, which means by 2025, you would be closer to 36, and by 2030, you would be closer to around 45, hypothetically. So by 2025, you would be closer to 36, and by 2030, you would be closer to 45. Then what would happen? Then what would happen? And it's not a question of US, it's a question of the failed leadership, it's a question of the lost Afghanistan, and so on and so forth. And I'm telling you guys, this crash is going to get happen. Many central banks of the globe are sitting on a huge debt. European Central Bank, Bank of Japan, Reserve Bank of India, Federal Reserve, Monetary Authority of Singapore. You just name it. The crash is, if not near, it is eventual. I repeat, if not real, then eventual. And that eventuality would come. And then the Powell, the Yellen, the Biden, the Kamala Harris, the Trump, the Mnuchin, and anyone, they might not be able to save the dollar, and the gold would be skyrocket. I'm telling you. The people having the patience will wait, because one day or another the debt have to be paid. You cannot run away. You cannot run away from the debt. If you are thinking you can run away from the debt, then you are mistaken. You cannot run away from the debt. No one in the whole world can run away from the debt. And it's a question of the country. This side Rahul Magan here as Group Chief Executive Officer, Treasury Consulting. You know my personal number, which is +91 9899242978. Mr. Biden, Powell, Yellen, and Kamala Harris. There is somebody in the universe who can challenge you. Have a great time ahead.